Hello and welcome to another cube. Our recent ones haven't been going that great, to be honest. There's Jace, Restoration Angel, Vengefine is an okay card, Solemn. I guess Emrakul is viable somewhat, but like casting a 15 mana cost card, don't think so. Obviously, for me, I'm more inclined to go to Jace because I like blue, but I'm not sure if it's even the correct pick here. Vengefine is obviously a nice card, but I haven't had great success with green. This is obviously a fine card, and I can still go red, white with it and aggro. I can play it in control. But passing a Jace means that the opponent to my left should jump into blue. And, I'm just a fan of blue. So let's do that. Can still go, like, ignore this or start doing other things. There's no way Restoration Angel wheels either, and it's a great card to have, even in a control deck. Then there's Frost Titan and Battle Skull. Duplicant. I think Battle Skull is better than the Frost Titan, just because it's life gain, it's a mana cheaper, you can equip it on your creatures. The Frost Titan is also pretty good, and it's a blue card, so again, it discourages people from a left for going blue. So maybe I need to pick up the Frost Titan. Nah, still like Battle Skull more. I mean, passing a single blue card, which is obviously a strong one. Frost Titan is a monster. But Battle Skull, no, in the control deck, Battle Skull is just too good to pass up. Life gain against aggro, it has vigilance, and the fact that you can return it every single time makes it pretty good against spot removal or just artifact destruction once you really hit the late game. The best card for a deck like this, Sphinx's Revelation, I guess. There's Impulse, Ultimate Price. Glorious Anthem isn't really a control card. If you want to go control, but I think we are. I think Impulse is the better card over Ultimate Price, because I usually pair this with white anyway. Plus, if we don't end up blue, Impulse is still an okay card. If you don't end up control, I mean, Impulse is still an okay card. Plus, again, it signals to my left, hey, stay out of blue. Tassa, not really the card we want. Oblivion Ring, on the other hand, probably is. No clue how this gets through to fourth pick. Maybe a bunch of really good cards. There's also Eternal Witness, Hallowed Fountain, like Tropical Island, if nothing else was in here, but I think I would have picked a Hallowed Fountain. But for now, it has to be the Oblivion Ring. Card is too good to pass up. 3 mana, remove something. Yeah. Oh man, I still haven't figured out on the video how that voting thing works, if you can actually see it. Because that card is entertaining. Like, if you didn't see the votes, then that card was such a bonkers fun card. But you probably can see the vote, because in real life you can see the vote. There's Parallax Wave and there's Into the Roll. I think Into the Roll is better. Like, Parallax Wave is an okay card, but it's usually more played in aggro just to gain some tempo. Or with green, where you have like Eternal Witness. If I had Eternal Witness, then Parallax Wave would be slam dunk. Because that's a combo, basically. But for now, no thank you. And the thing I thought with Parallax Wave, which doesn't work anymore, but like when I first started Legacy, I was like, this is an okay combo, because you can... Oh, let's see here. There's Jose, but there's Everflowing Chalice and Tundra. Forbidden Alchemy, okay, I guess. But I think Everflowing Chalice has to be the pick here. We're very likely to be getting some late game cards, so EOS isn't that necessary. There's also Daze, which would be fine. But I think the Chalice is obviously a better card here. Yeah, let's go for the Chalice, like we're a late game deck. Anyway, I thought you could Parallax Wave for 4 creatures, put them all 4 on the stack. And then bounce your Parallax Wave and it stay your move forever. And that's how the card actually reads. but they errated it, and Parallax Wave has to be in play while the creature gets removed, blah 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 blah, which is pretty annoying. I'll go for the faraway, like it's better than Talia in a deck like mine. Will likely not be playing black, but I mean, 2 mana bounce is still okay. And if you do end up black or able to splash black without any cost, and then able to cast it away, that's just nice. The same here, I guess. You want the Fire Rise, but I think the negate is a bit better because we're probably not gonna go red, so I'm gonna go with the negate. Fire Rise, obviously, a really good card. I always loved that card. From the moment I start playing Legacy, I figured Fire Rise is obviously a bonkers good card. I guess Diabolic Servitude. Even in Control deck, it's a good one. It's an okay one, but not gonna play it main deck. The fact that you can keep on playing this. Seriously. But so far, we only have 1 creature, so that's something we need to look out for as well. More creatures. Core Repelling, no thank you. No thank you, so it has to be the Seal of Cleansing. Probably as a sideboard card, although you can run it as a main deck card, but I'm not a big fan of that. Like most other decks do run an artifact or an enchantment that you want to get rid of, so Seal of Cleansing has a bunch of value main deck, but then I want like Dismantling Blow. Yeah, sure. Here, I guess the Corrosion Grip. Just in case. Whoops. Do not double click those. Stinkweed Tempest is a fine card. 3 mana 1/2 flying, but it basically trades with anything, so it would basically just be for trading. Magma Jet, Char. Wow, we're getting a bunch of red here as well. Lightning Maul red was so open apparently. Though we didn't see that many creatures like Stormkirk Noble, Lavamancer, but yeah. Someone was drafting red, or if someone was drafting red, could have been paid off. I guess it's Supreme Verdict. There's Condescent, Kega, Baron Crusader, but I think Supreme Verdict, given that I don't have a removal yet, has to be the pick here. Then Temple of Silence would be Goodwill, but then you want Murder Squad as well. But just like Temple of Silence is fine because of the Faraway. But I think the rest of this pack, like Kega, Supreme Verdict, Condescent, is better, so might as well pick up a Supreme Verdict. So far, we haven't seen a single control effect. So no Treachery, no Control Magic, no Videlco Shackles, no Legacy's Allure. Maybe they already passed and someone picked them up, or I'm just not seeing them. I think Exalted Angel is a bit better than the Detention Sphere for me. Like, I haven't gotten a creature yet. It is a really good creature. The Detention Sphere is obviously fine, but that makes your deck way too responsive. I think I like the Exalted Angel more. Plus it curves out my deck a bit more, although this is actually a 3-drop. Detention Sphere, really good card. Pretty close to Oblivion Ring, but you have to pay the blue and the white for it, just to have the benefit of it. Removing the same names, which in this case would only be tokens. Miscalculation versus Blade Splicer. Tough one. I always like having counter, but I think Blade Splicer is good enough here to actually pick this up. The fact that it makes a first striker plus actually 2 bodies, I think is a bit better. Like, I put this on the same level as Serenity Befrit, or pretty close to. Martial Coup here, given that there's not much else in the pack for me. Martial Coup is obviously a good card. And not a 2-drop, but whatever. I could used to put lands in the same spot as 0-drops. It no longer does that. It used to put these at the 0 drop. I think that's correct. But it puts X-Spells at the end, or at least in a separate pile, which no longer is the case either. Yeah, we're not really getting a lot of blue from left, which is pretty bizarre given that we actually cut a lot of blue from them. Like, what did we even pass to the left from blue? Although we did see Consent, and or was that just our first pack? It has to be Entreat Angels, like nothing else appeals to me. Maybe the Chivalry because we have 2 removal there, but Entreat Angels is just way better. If you can ever miracle that. Bunkers card. So we basically have one of our late game cards now. In Entreat. Well, we basically have Martial Coup as well, so we have 2 somewhat late game cards. We want Sphinx's Rev. We want some more early game control, removal basically, or good creatures. Serendipity Free would be higher on my list. I know I named that card a lot, but having a 3/4 flyer for 3 in the control deck is good enough. Like, how is aggro gonna deal with it without removing it? And then most of their spells deal 3 damage, so the 4 damage spells can't even trade with it. He gets Elspeth, right? But yeah, again, no blue. How on earth is someone here blue? I have no clue how that happened. But okay, maybe this guy's like, hey, I'm getting a lot of blue. Impact 2, they jump into it because we opened like Jason Mind Sculptor, and then all of a sudden we're getting insane amount of blue. Let's remember the names. It's Ukun, Tom McVie, and Frozen Flash. Ukun, Tom McVie, and Frozen Flash. Okay. Angelic Destiny. I like the card, but I can't actually run it without creatures, but we'll just pick it and put it at the side. It's a pretty strong card. But the fact that, I really have no way to work with it. Prowess. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, lifelink. Yeah, that seems fine. Given that we have a bunch of non-creature spells. A 2/2 for 2 is still okay. So then it becomes a 3/3 lifelinker, yeah. And Kega wheels, so taking that one over the temple. I mean, having another 6 drop and a control effect, basically, if they do have a better creature, is all that we wanted. Whoops, was looking at somewhere else. We still have 20 seconds. So Karmic Guides isn't actually good for me. Slaughter Pact would be okay. Shrine is okay, but I think we pick the Slaughter Pact, not play it for now. I guess Windburst Kites, although very unlikely I'll be playing that card. Linvala is a nice one to have here. 4 mana 3/4 flyer, with a added benefit, but I mean, you just play it because it's 3/4 flyer for 4. Like Restoration is also 3/4 flyer for 4. We're close to being mono white control, to be honest. Just because we have only 5 blue cards. Curse of Predation is obviously the stronger card, I think. Given that these wield way too much. We could actually go white black if we wanted to at one point, but I'm not a fan of that color combination. So I think my late game should be okay, given that we have Marshoku, Entreat, Exalted, Keiga, and Elspeth now. And there's a Treachery. Yes, there's an Angel, Sun Titan, Pet, but Treachery is just too good to pass up. Maybe Sun Titan wheels or the Angel wheels. I'll be fine with either. So we gotta keep in mind that probably one of the other 2 late game cards wheels. So in our next picks we should focus on more the early game compared to the late game. But Treachery, really good card, so we'll take it here. How to get blue cards? You need to open them. I think this guy is blue, but probably this guy. Like one of these is benefiting from my blue cutting in pack 1, or was benefiting my blue cutting in pack 1. Usually you can, even without getting color through in pack 1, you can jump into the color if you're like, yeah, I have some good cards, but I'm getting pack 2 really good ones there. Recurring Nightmare, that's the first time I've seen it this deep, but I can't pick it up. I have no creatures to play with it. It's way too late in the draft. I love this card, but it has to be the Forbid. I always want to run a counter, and here it is. There's also Underground River, but having a single counter and a good one at that, because once you're late game and you have too many cards in hand, you can just keep on forbidding. So once you have control, you're able to keep control with the Forbid. And that's a really old school deck, by the way, where you have blue-red control with a bunch of burn and forbid, and then you have that phoenix that makes him come back. Cyclonic Rift, return target non-permanent you don't control to. So for 7 mana you bounce everything that you don't own. There's also Face Feathers and Master of Waves. Master of Waves isn't that great for me, I think. But it is a threat. And it's really good against red. But I'm just not heavy enough on the blue. Cyclonic Rift is a bomb of a card. Plus it's instant. Nah, I don't think it's good enough for my deck. It's just not the way it has to be. And then obviously Sphinx's Revelation. No way I'm passing that over, or picking a Force Spike or Clawham over that. So there's a Sphinx's. Sword Splashers. Thank you very much. Our deck is coming together. Terminus versus Remove Soul. Yeah, let's pick the Terminus. So, if you need to cut something in the near future, what would it be? Because we are at 23 now. The far away, just because we don't have the splash. Let's put it at the side then. Bam, there you go. Because basically it just reads 2 mana and bounce something. Or bounce a creature even. In which case Cyclonic Rift is just better. Although I don't have a Cyclonic Rift. Plus we get a Sun Titan or the Angel anyway. Or a Peto Exile, which seems very unlikely to be wielding, but it's possible. You never know. People could be making mistakes. Never rely on your opponent making a mistake unless it's your only resort. Like I've made plays where I'm like, okay, my opponent has to mess up here, else I lose. Yes, that's a good spot to do that. But outside of that, never rely on making a play hoping that your opponent makes a mistake. Unless you can, when you can avoid that and just play optimally. I guess it's Trade Wind Rider, but I'm not so sure I'll play it. Like we have too few creatures, so not gonna do that. If you had more creatures and were more the creature-based control, which I like drafting to be honest, then Trade Wind Riders is a nuts card. But here, sadly enough, I did not have the creatures for it. We have no early game either. I'm really happy that I have the Everflowing Chalice to accelerate me somewhat. Isochron Scepter, how does it work for me? Impulse into the roll, negates swords. I guess it's at least a better card. And then Far Away is also possible. We get the Angel. Okay. So I don't think we play Isochron, but it was a possibility. Or it is a possibility, given something like Cyclonic Rift wielding, we can then use Far Away as well. We have sword supply shares. Into the roll, can you kick it when you cast it, right? Yeah, so we can use Icicle Scepter with into roll and kick it every time, so that's beneficial. Impulse is obviously a good one, just finding cards and swords is pretty good. I guess a Johnny Vengeance. There you go. We do have 3 removal with the Ajani, but I think blue at this point is still better. Frontline Medic, I guess. It's an okay card. Now we're at 24 cards, god damn it. If I need to cut something, is it the Angel? Because we already have a bunch of late game cards and this is the weakest of them. You can bring it in against other control decks maybe. But given that we have Terminus and Supreme Verdict, maybe Angel is better than Terminus. Just because it's 1 mana more and you slam it and you take away the creatures, but then if they have a spot removal they get them back, so. Well, we get an Isolated Chapel. Just in case we want to run like Icicle Scepter far away. Firebolt, I guess. Punch the red removal. Like maybe against aggro we do jump into red and just say, hey, we're red white now and we'll eat aggro alive. Because then we use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and we gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not that great, right? Still need to cut a card here. Maybe it's a negate. Though I really usually want one of those cards. So let's put these at the correct cost. Like this is a 7 drop. This is usually a 7 drop. This is a 6 drop, so maybe it is a bit too, like I have no way of setting this up, right? Terminus. But I think Angel is worse than Terminus. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 late game cards then. Yeah, I think the Angel is a gunner. Do want anything else? Do want like Seal of Cleansing over the negate, but the negate catches planeswalkers, so there's that. We're not that permanent based. This is obviously a late game card as well. We're not that permanent based, so we're not tapping out all the time. So I think having a counter is good. Now let's look at other options. As I said, red is pretty deep, so we have, well, deep. We have some ability in red in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards basically. Plus then you can run Isochron because you can't run Isochron without blue here. And that's 1, 2, 3. If you run Isochron, basically you have 4 and we need to run far away, which is 5. I think that's borderline and not good enough. If you had more, then we definitely would have done it. We can play Isolated Chapel if we play far away, but only having a single fix for that card. And the fact that it only, returns a creature to its owner's hand. I think we can sideboard it in against aggro decks, but that's about it. I think this is way better. So let's look at color. I don't think I want to trade in Tridorine of any of the other white cards, so yeah. As I said, I'm heavier on the white just because I didn't get a lot of blue. But I do think I run like 9-8. Despite being heavy on the white, it's still necessary to eat my blue early on, so we'll submit and I'll see you guys for round 1.